Hey, what's going on, friends? My podcast every day is broken up into two parts on the free platform. The first part, Act 1, is right now. When it's all done, go right on over to Act 2 to get the second half of the podcast. Thank you so much for checking out my show. Hello, friends. Welcome into the Eric St. Joe podcast, a daily show where I discuss news, nonsense, and my personal adventures from right here in the Impact Power Sports studio. Impact Power Sports, fantastic place to go get fun stuff at an affordable price. Side-by-sides, ATVs, UTVs, motorcycles, scooters, maybe an e-bike, something fun for the kids, perhaps a go-kart. They have it all. Snowmobiles, zero-turn radius lawnmowers, and they will be at the Grand Rapids Camper Trailer and RV Show coming up January 16th to the 20th at DeVos Place, and I will be there with them. Already, audience members are piling on and beating the hell out of me about the Detroit Lions and picking on me because I jumped off of the bandwagon last week. And now I am back on the bandwagon after they beat the shit out of the Bears. And I want you to know, some people are already like, no, you can't do that. You can't be on and off the bandwagon like that. You're out. And that's nonsense. That is, bandwagon fans are smart fans. Okay? You don't understand. If I'm on the bandwagon during this rough patch that we just went through, the Lions, I would be so epically riddled with anxiety. I can't take it. I didn't watch a second of the game. I had things to do that were much more important than watch that fucking impending doom leading into the Chicago game. And then they stepped up. They played well enough. You know, Chicago's a pile of shit team, but I don't care. I'm glad they won. I'm excited. You see, you ding-dongs are sitting there giving me the business about being on and off the bandwagon like that. That's what smart fans do. You get out when things are about to go south. That way you're not invested. Had they lost against the Bears, I don't want to be the guy to say I told you so. I'm not Joe Martinez. I'm not that level of idiot. Okay? I just was worried about all of the goddamn injuries. So, and I had said to you dumbasses last week, I hope to God I'm wrong. I guess so. I'm glad I was wrong. They absolutely won the game, and that's fantastic. So now they're all set up, and hopefully they can have that type of success again at San Francisco, but it would not surprise me if they did not because of the injuries. Now, if they go on to keep winning, and then who knows what happens in the playoffs, this will add to the legend of Dan Campbell. It already is legendary, Dan Campbell. Jeremy says Eric Zane is a realist. He knows football. He's nervous because of injuries. Would you rather him be Joe Martinez and pretend the Lions bow to nobody? Either that. Joe Martinez, he has already, he's obviously feeling better because on my Facebook post where I sarcastically said, yeah, a Lions ride or die. I knew they would beat Chicago, and everybody beat me up about that, which was hilarious. Joe comes in and starts talking trash about the Lions. And he says that the Lions are a mediocre team. And he says also that Green Bay and Minnesota are mediocre teams. So Green Bay might win their 11th game tonight if they win against New Orleans, and they probably will. And Minnesota has won 13 games. So he refers to Minnesota and Green Bay as mediocre teams. Now, inherently, that shows you the type of intellect this man has. Okay? He has anything that your anger is misplaced if you're coming after me because I thought the Lions wouldn't win a game anymore. Which, by the way, yesterday, Diana ratted me out. And the next thing I know, I hear over my shoulder at the hockey game, "What the fuck is wrong with you?" And you know who was saying that? Darren McCarty. I go, "What?" And he says, "What the fuck you talking about? The Lions not going to win another game." I go, "Oh, come on. First of all, where did you hear that?" "Your wife, she ratted you out." I go, "Jesus H." And he gives me one of those big man hugs. And then I got like a contact buzz from the amount of hot stink burned into his skin. He goes, "Come on, you're a stupid fuck." I go, "Oh yeah, like I'm the only one that thought that." Come on now. We always like to welcome new visitors on this show. Slav from Down Under. Slav from Down Under is here. Slav from Down Under is watching this in the glorious country of Tasmania. I am not sure if Tasmania is a country. Scrolling through Twitch, saw 3 ads, but I still had a motivation. Greetings from Tasmania. Slav from Down Under says Tasmania is in Australia. So I wasn't sure of that. Now, contextually, being that your handle says you're from Down Under, I thought perhaps from Australia, but visiting Tasmania, which would be like in the middle of Europe. I had no idea. I have just learned that Tasmania is in Australia. Tiny little spunky island looks like full bush. I'm not sure if that means the same thing there as it does here. Full bush would describe most of the women listening to this podcast, this live stream, I should say. David asks, is that a territory to our new pal Slav from Down Under? I think when they say bush, they're referring to like bush country. Is that the Australian version of like wilderness and north of the hard living line? Slav from Down Under says, yes, it does mean the same thing. So full bush would look like a map of, Well, all right. This is happening from the States, if you can't tell, by an English speaker with an accent not nearly as cool as yours. In the state of Michigan. Hopefully you know a thing or two about that. All right. So getting back to the Detroit Lions football team. You can go ahead and beat the hell out of me. But I made it very clear to you, but you didn't even listen. I said, I hope I'm wrong, but I just don't think they can overcome the spate of injuries. And I predicted that they would lose all of their games and then be out in the playoffs. Now, because I was wrong, that's excellent. What is wrong? I don't understand why everyone's like, well, yeah, you didn't stay on board the bandwagon. So what? So what? Like, that matters. Holy cow. Slav says, is this like American football stuff? Yeah, it is. That's kind of big here, my friend. However, I will say that I have many a night watched Australian rules football and seen how those people destroy each other. It might be the toughest sport that exists. Who are the ones that do the haka? They're called the All Blacks. And I think that might be rugby. And I don't even know what the hell the difference is between rugby and Australian rules football. All I know is that in the sport, or those sports, they have the same amount of protective equipment as like a tennis player. And they destroy each other. And there's a team called the All Blacks. And I'm being told now by various audience members that know more about me, that's New Zealand. Okay. Now that can't be the same thing, because Australia is a continent and New Zealand is on the continent, right? So Australia is both a continent and a country. Is that correct? That is incorrect. Various audience members are telling me to look at a map. I am not going to stop this show to look at a map when I can just have you guys correct me and call me names and insult me. That's okay. All right. Like Slav, here's brand new. Says, yes, that is correct partially if you don't count Tasmania, and I am Tasmanian. Now, let me ask you this, Slav. As a Tasmanian, are you a native Tasmanian, or what is your heritage, you know? Because some people, like, I'm born in America, but I have different ethnicities that make me one of the most amazing people on the planet. If I were a Native American, I'd be like 5 feet tall. My skin would be as dark as coffee. And I'd weigh like 300 pounds. Matt Herring, who's been here way too long to not be subscribed, says, Google is your friend. Slav says, I am originally from Yugoslavia. Nick says, is he an Aborigine or a British criminal? I don't think either. Kenny says, I just emailed you, Eric, showing you where New Zealand is. Well, I'm not going to look at it. Okay? Ladies and gentlemen, Joe Martinez is finally here. He is obviously feeling better as his treatment continues. The best for that. I hope you feel better soon. He refers to me as, he says, hello, bandwagon fan. That's right. That's right, I am. But I wouldn't even call myself as off the bandwagon last week. You can be on the bandwagon and think that they're not going to win. That happens all the time. It's not like I wasn't a Lions fan. You are not a Lions fan. You would never be allowed on the bandwagon. You are a hater of the Detroit Lions. Okay? And you're dumb. I was talking about your moronic take yesterday, suggesting that the Minnesota Vikings are a mediocre team. My God. Thank you, Slav from Down Under, who has just subscribed. I appreciate that. From the country of Yugoslavia, now in Tasmania. Yugoslavia, which I don't even think is known as Yugoslavia anymore. Is it? All I know about that neck of the woods is there was a war. There's Serbia, Bosnia, Herzegovina, and Slobodan Milosevic. Rebecca says, how did he hear about you? I think it was accidental. That happens all the time on Twitch. People see something and like, hey, what's up? That's outstanding, though. I want you to spread the word amongst your friends in Tasmania about this show. Say, hey, there's this asshole from the States who wears a stupid hat. He's got his dog behind him and basically just spews bullshit. Bob says, don't forget about the car, the Yugo. I had a pal that I worked with at the cabinet shop back in the day who had a Yugo. And the idiot, he lost the oil cap, that's on the valve cover. It's like a 4-cylinder motor. And he took the oil cap off. And he lost the oil cap somehow. So what did he do? He took a rag and put it into the valve cover top and stuffed it in there so it was tight and started the motor. And then all of the whatever the shit that goes up and down, pistons, camshaft, bearing, wrapped it all into it. And wound it inside of there, and it all seized, and everything exploded. The goddamn car caught on fire on the side of the road. I wonder if there's even any more of those available that exist in the world, Slav, our Yugoslavian friend, who is in Tasmania, says, I've been to the U.S. and Canada, celebrated the 4th of July in Dayton. That's not far from here, Slav. Chris says 0% chance that one of those hunks of shit are still on the road. All right. So I'm kind of bouncing around with a lot of amazing topics today, things to discuss with you from right here in the Impact Power Sports studio. And one of the things was the stirring victory by the Lions. I did not see that coming. I really did not believe it, and I had a terrible vibe, and I still don't have a great vibe about them going forward. I still don't think that that they can do it. All right? I'm glad they won. I'm excited that they won. But if anybody tries to call me out and says, yeah, you can't root for the Lions, that's just stupid. I can absolutely root for the Lions, and I will. I can't do it. I can't sit down and watch it right now. I didn't watch anything yesterday. They are in San Francisco next week. Now, they're kind of beat up too, but any win on the road is not easy. Detroit is the only team in the NFL that is undefeated on the road. So that's saying something. The 2 games that they've lost at home. Yet Dick Face Martinez suggests that they're mediocre. They're a hell of a lot better than mediocre. The top teams in the league, essentially what he's saying there is, if the Lions and the Vikings and the Packers are mediocre, there's only one team that's won more games than them, and that would be Kansas City, who's only lost 1 time this year. The top teams in the league are Detroit, Buffalo, not in this order, Detroit, Buffalo, Kansas City, Minnesota, Green Bay, and maybe Washington. And Philly too, but Washington just beat Philly. Jalen Hurts got injured. Concussion. Washington beats them. That was huge for the Lions because, and Nick, he's an Eagles fan. He says fucking Eagles blew it last night. With that loss by the Eagles, that means the Lions are alone atop the NFC. So if they win at San Francisco and then they beat Minnesota at home, they got a first-round bye, and they're home throughout the playoffs. Chris is still holding it against me that I said the Lions wouldn't win again, like the fucking long-haired child twat that he is. He says it doesn't matter, though, about the Eagles. Lions are losing out, so I've heard. You stupid fucking hippie. Shut up. New guy, Slav from Down Under. Now, we don't know, because Kenny is having a conversation with Slav, and we don't know Slav's gender. Now, we all know, though, that our very own Kenny is girl crazy. And nothing gets his motor revving than a new lady in the chat. So, Slav, I don't want you to say your gender. I want you to keep your gender to yourself. Because if you happen to reveal that you are a lady, that might be weird. Slav writes, Slav is 45-year-old female. Okay. Wow. Well, you might have something going on there where Kenny here, who is known as Zildjian, is probably going to slip into your DM somehow. This guy is so horny. He is the most horny audience member that has ever existed. Not that long ago, we had a young lady who was new to the show up here and said, "Hi, everybody. My name is I forgot her name already. Becky. Doesn't matter." And Kenny tracked her down and then was like, "Hey, you got a pretty smile." Hey, baby, you got a pretty smile. Yeah, I'm going to give you a follow. It was so weird. And I didn't say anything, but everybody in the chat started beating him up right away. And I waited one full day because I wanted the lady to not have to experience this. And she never returned after Dana. That was it. After that awful stalking scenario. So the next day I beat him up pretty well. So if you just be wise. I just want you to stay safe. I just be careful. Kenny writes, hey, man, the fact that you do this when regulars are here is one thing. But when there's a brand new person that probably thinks you're serious is pissing me off. Wait a minute here. Hold on a minute. First of all, everybody's doing it. Okay? Second of all, when you did it the first time, that person was not a regular. And I didn't do that. You did that. Okay? Jesus. Let's see. Slav says, fuck Eric. I will DM you, Kenny. All right, well, there you go. So now, oh, man, can you imagine if, like, 6 weeks from now, Kenny's like, hey, hey, mate, I'm selling all my video games. Why? Kenny, what's going on? Hey, mate, a flight to Tasmania ain't cheap, motherfucker. I'm flying off. I'm leaving on a jet plane. I'm going to be back. Maybe. I'm in love. Chris writes, hey, mate, who wants my first edition Dig Dug video game? I don't know. Mediocrity Dave says Ari Zane strikes again. It's true. Okay. I think that's about it for the Lions. I mean, if they win, it's going to set the stage for loser leaves town game, kind of, in Detroit. I hope they win. Matt says sliding into Kenny's DM is going to make him go down under. Chris says, unless Green Bay wins. Yeah, you know more about it than I do. Slav from Down Under says, let it be known I've sent a whisper to Kenny all by myself. I don't even know what that means. A whisper. That's something on Twitch. So these two, oh yeah, look it. And then Kenny responds to Slav with like a heart, you know? Kenny says it's a DM, dummy. There's no reason to insult me. I don't know Twitch. I mean, I'm here on it, but I don't even know what that means. Tyler says it's like a sexy message. Let me tell you something, Slav. Kenny is, he's fluffy, but he's got a very sweet, handsome, cherub-like face. I'm actually going to go on this show and show you exactly what Kenny looks like. And I'll tell you this. He's sweet as peaches, and he's poor as fuck. He's a handsome devil who was in the process of being less disgusting. He's lost a ton of weight, and I'd like just to describe him as fluffy. I'm going to show you what he looks like right now. Amazing father, too. Yes, that's all true. He's got 3 kids. 2 of them are grown. One is just a little lady, and he takes care of her. He's just a great soul. I love Kenny. You get my full endorsement. I mean, look at that face. Now, it's a damn good thing we can only see his face. All right? Because the rest is a work in progress. He is not like, but not without trying. He's working very hard to shed a bunch of weight right now. And he's down to, as of today, and I'm keeping track of it right here. Hold on a minute. He's down to 314.6. He's about 6 foot tall. Maybe a little bit under 6 foot. But, yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't know what you're looking for. Slav says, I am enjoying this introduction before I send you noodles. And then it says XX. And then she writes, disclaimer, I am being cheeky and humorous. Oh, yeah. Of course. It's just silly. It's not like anybody's. Kenny is, he's not, I don't know if he's that type. Kenny's actually pretty conservative, Clarkinator says more men like Kenny need to step up and be good fathers. Oh, yeah, he's a very good father. I think the only thing that he sucks at is not being a pain in my ass. That brings us to our weight loss competition on the Eric Zane Show podcast. Week 14. Kenny is down again. 0.6 pounds. And I think that's frustrating to Kenny. Because what he wrote to me is that he's not really happy about. In fact, the subject reads, the fatness continues. So when I saw the weight, I was like, well, you're down. What are you so disgruntled about? You lost 0.6 pounds. Let me explain something to you. If you are down 0.6 pounds, if you did that every week in 1 year, you would lose about 32 pounds. And if you were to maintain that for 4 years, you would be just over 189 pounds. Now, that's a slow burn, there's no question. I think you're actually going to do this faster than that. Ding Dong says, I feel like I'm kind of stuck. Being sick didn't help, but that's in the past. I have off work until January 2. I'm going to work on a few things and just try to be more physically active in general. Definitely time to do some things differently, I think. When you go live this morning, I'm going to hop on my treadmill. Just going to be wrapping presents most of the day and fasting otherwise. Well, add to the list making women wet who live in faraway places, because that's what you're doing to Slav down under. Hey, man, I'm going to get on the treadmill, wrap some presents, and make some crazy Yugoslavian babe wet. Chris says, speaking of activity, how's P90X going for Aram and EZ? My weekend, I did nothing. But my weekend was Friday, and I'll get to all of this. This is the order of operations. I would love to be the guy to just say, yeah, I just didn't feel like doing it. Slav from Down Under says, look, mate, I make myself come. Okay, good to know. This is a very sensual show, apparently, as these two lovebirds are now commencing to talking trash. Megan says, shit, you and Kenny have something in common. To Slav from Down Under. Okay, look. I'm just going to get out ahead of this right now. If these two communicate with each other and they're like, you know what? Let's bone. The show The audience and myself will pay for the transportation for the transcontinental Tennessee Tasmania Fuckfest. The big EZ show, Tasmania to Tennessee, Kenny and Slav Fuckfest. Now, I'm not saying that that's going to happen. These two might not be interested in each other. I'm just saying, if there's a spark between you two, we'll make that happen. And that might not happen, all right? But everybody in this audience can feel the heat between these two. You got legendary Kenny and newcomer Slav. That's all I'm saying. And it's an elephant in the room. We can all feel it. We're all feeling the excitement. It's kind of like when you watch a film and you can see the two, the actor or the actress or whatever you're watching, actor and actor, actress and actress, doesn't matter. And you're like, oh my God, I just want them to kiss. I just want that to happen. Everybody's starting to feel that right now. All right. So Kenny dropped 0.6. Grand total of 45.4 down to 314.6. The other competitor in this is Jeremy. Jeremy has a goal of 275 pounds short term for the January 6th weigh-in. Jeremy lost an additional 2.8 pounds in the past week. I said 14 weeks. Yeah, that's right. To give him a new total, I take it back. This is the 15th week, but I've only been keeping track of the records for 14. Of 280.5. Having lost a grand total in these 15 weeks of 54.6 pounds. Let's do some easy math. That is an average of 3.64 pounds a week. That is healthy weight loss. You have only 5.51 pounds left to reach your 275-pound goal by the January 6th weigh-in. You must average 2.75 pounds for the next two weigh-ins. And you lost 2.8 this past week. You are on track to do this, my friend, Jeremy. Wow. That's very exciting. I think it's exciting for both of these folks. Kenny, obviously, a little bit stagnated, and he's got to work some things out. And I know you can. Jeremy, though, is absolutely better at Kenny than this. For now. That doesn't mean you quit trying. Hats off to both of you. Linda is talking about Kenny's picture. Oh, it's a fantastic picture. Look at him. He looks like a movie star. Look at those icy, light-colored eyes. I think they're blue, by the way. All right. Getting back to, let's see. Slav says, are we disclosing our weight? Because I do not do pounds. I come from down under. That's not. No, this is only between these two souls. These two souls started a weight loss adventure, and that's what's going on. So no, that's not like everybody has to reveal their weight. That's totally up to you, I guess. But if you did give it in kilos, we would just convert it. I think, how does it work? Something about 2.2. So anyway, no, I didn't do anything P90X wise this weekend. Friday, it was get done with this podcast. I didn't even have time to do the Patreon. Whip together a something to listen to while I'm away. And then, my God, off to Irvine's Auto Repair for the great food giveaway. More on that in a second. After that, I did make it to the Beltline Bar. I didn't stay there for the whole thing because I had the hockey game. I brought my clothes with me. Pooh Bear was there. Justin and Jackie were there. Let me see if I can remember every single soul. Maureen. You had Ryan. You had Amy. You had Stevie. You had Megan. Megan's newest employee, is her name Ashley? Ashley or Amanda? Kuipers Amber was her name, is the new lady. Kuipers is there, by the way. And Megan, I wanted you to know that Kuipers, who's here in the chat, he wants to ask Amber out. So as the love broker of this show, it's my sworn duty that when I sense that love is in the air, I have to help facilitate that. So, Kuipers. Now, I think Amber is very, very young. I mean, she's just 21, Kuipers, and aren't you like 55 years old? So I don't know if that's going to work. Now, Kuipers has that little boy face. He doesn't look like as old as he is. Kenny with a fantastic reminder that I would have missed. Just over 10 minutes until your meeting, Kenny. See what I mean there, Slav? Our Yugoslavian Tasmanian princess? Kenny just reminded me that I have an important meeting that I have to be at 10 a.m. That just shows you the type of soul this sweet man is. He has 3 kids again. He has a boy who is grown. He has a daughter who is grown. And a little girl who he dotes over. Absolutely outstanding individual. High praise for this man. But you got to understand, he's like really emotionally wound tight. So if he gets butt hurt, he throws himself on the ground and cries like a child. All right. Slav says no more sales pitch. All right. I can appreciate that. Before I continue on, I do want to mention some of my amazing partners that help make this show happen. The show is powered by all of the great sponsorships, and that keeps it free. Maureen says dodes over. Did I hear that right? I think he meant dotes over. Wait a minute. So are you telling me that when a father is like, really proud of his daughter and takes care of her, or a child or a wife, you don't say dodes over? You say dotes over? I don't know about that one, Maureen. Dave says it's doting. He's a doting father. Well, can you say he dotes? Oh, I guess it is dotes. It's not dodine, not dodine. Okay, I've been saying that wrong for 54 years. Thank you for correcting that. God damn it. Forever I thought that was dodine. If you're watching on Facebook, this show is available on Twitch, twitch.tv/Eric Zane Live. Or download the Twitch app and search Eric Zane Live. Subscribe, and you will be able to enjoy the show minus commercials. You can link up your Amazon Prime and be subscribed for free. You have to do it every month, though. Or you can pay a few bucks and just not worry about it. That's up to you. Otherwise, you got to sit through the commercials. Send me an email, eric@ericzaneshow.com, on the Shoreliner striping inbox. I appreciate that very much. Shoreliner striping is outstanding. Thank you, Slav. Slav signed up for 3 months. That is fantastic. You're very kind. Okay. I have a Patreon, patreon.com/Eric Zane. I put even more content up there every single day. It's a separate platform, commercial free. You have to pay $5 or $10 a month. Thank you. But you can sign up for free with a 7-day free trial. You do have to put in a credit card as a payment form, but immediately cancel it after, and then you're good to go. After the 7 days is up, you can sign up again, and then you'll be ready to keep going for $5 or $10 a month. So I'm kicking everybody on Facebook and YouTube out. Facebook and Twitch brought to you by Irvine's Auto Repair, Grand Rapids Hybrid and EV. You can find them at ervines.com. Jacqueline, this is the conversation I had with my 27-year-old daughter. Hey, Dad. What? My car is making a noise. And I'm thinking to myself, don't be a grinding noise. Don't be a grinding noise. Yeah, it's making a grinding noise. I go, okay, your brakes are shot. What do? I go, you know what to do. You call Irvine's. ervines.com. I go online right now, fill out the form, and they'll take care of it. Megan will get a hold of you, and everything will be fine. She goes, how do I pay for it? I go, with your money. You're a grown woman. You and your husband earn paychecks. You're dual earners. This is yours. I'm not doing it. Are you kidding me? It is no longer my responsibility. I think she knew that. She was just trying because she does pay all her own bills. She better. 616-532-6600, ervines.com. That's ervines.com. TC Paintball. Do you play paintball in Tasmania? Is that a thing? Online at tcpaintballgr.com. Fantastic place to begin your paintball adventure right here in the great state of Michigan. Have your friends come out. Maybe the neighborhood kids want to do something fun during Christmas break. They have a little league for young players who just want to try out paintball for the first time. Online at tcpaintballgr.com. Love them so much. Maureen says, it was nice to meet Jackie and Justin Friday. I feel like I know them so well. Chris D says, Slavs fit right in. You should try the free trial of Patreon. Jeremy says, did Justin tell you he loved you, Easy? He always tells me he loves me. But it's always because Jacqueline says, say it. Say it. Justin's incredibly shy. So, like, I was leaving there Saturday. And I was walking out the door. I go, all right, love you guys. Bye. Love you, Dad. Say it, Justin. Say it. It's the way it has to be. I've known him for like 10 years. I have never heard him say my name. I've never heard him say Mr. Z. I've never heard him say Dad, ever. It does not happen. Why? I don't know. I think I've been told, but I just forgot. Mind of a goldfish. That's me. When it comes to getting a mortgage, please consider the Mario Flores Lakeshore team of Van Dyke Mortgage. No matter where you are in the U.S., call Mario at 231-332-6505. He will get you on the right track and get you started, on a mortgage, whether it be your first or if you've done this many, many times before. 231-332-6505 for the Mario Flores Lakeshore team of Van Dyke Mortgage. Now, listen, most of you know this already, but in case you don't, on Mondays, I have to break the show up into two parts. So I'm going to quit right now. Thank you for the reminder, Kenny. I'm going to quit right now, and then I'll be back when the meeting is done. Thank you so much. Aram says, see if he feels more comfortable calling you Pop Pop or Mr. Mac. Some of you will get the Mr. Mac reference. Oh, my God. All right, I'll talk to you in not that long. I don't want to say for sure because I might have to let the doggies out. But typically it's about 30, 40 minutes. But I'll be back when you get the alert on Twitch, your notifications. You know that I've got the second half of this show. And Slav, just so you know, Monday through Thursday, 10 a.m. Eastern time zone. I have no idea what time zone you are in. I think it might even be like December 24th where you are. I'm pretty sure you're that far along. You're in like the future. But anyway, Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. Eastern. I'm sorry, Monday through Thursday, 10 a.m. Eastern time. Friday, 9 a.m. Side note, tomorrow's show is going to happen at 8 a.m. Eastern time. I am going to do a full set of shows tomorrow. That originally was not the plan, but I will be doing a full broadcast day on Christmas Eve. Talk to you in a bit. Bye-bye. All right, that is Act 1 of the podcast. Act 2 is available right after this one. Go check it out. What are you doing? Don't miss a second of it. Thank you so much.